my God.
I would be Taylor's friend in real life.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
No.
Yes, I would.
A lot of people wish they
Listen.
could,
I would.
but they not real enough.
Listen.
I would so be Taylor's friend.
You don't even know her.
You don't need to.
Yes, you do. He don't even know you.
I'm pretty transparent. It's not much to know.
Oh, you're not.
I am.
They ain't seeing the real you.
They can though,
Let my son get on here too when we do it, because he'll tell it.
and I'll tell it to him too. Everybody
He'll
who
tell
know me know
it.
me.
Ooh,
Everybody
he'll
who
go
don't,
off.
don't.
Hello. Thank you for joining again. Today we are talking about upholding your standards, and we do have a guest on. And I'll let her introduce herself in just 1 second. I do like to talk about the topic a little bit first. We're talking about upholding your standards in relationships, and in the workplace, in religion, in any type of relationship. I think that this is a conversation that's long overdue. And talking about when it comes down to upholding your standards, sometimes we lower our standards because of how other people feel, or other opinions and things like that will make us rethink, or have a second thought about the things that we would not do or wouldn't go for in other situations. But then when you get home and you think about it and say, but I don't like that. That's something I would have never did. But this person was saying that. Why? We got to talk about that why. So I'm going to bring on my guest. I'm going to have her introduce herself, and then we'll go ahead and get started with conversation.
Nuh-uh. Turn it back around. Do a 360.
We're live.
I know. I know what live means. I can see it.
Taylor, introduce yourself.
You
Say
just
hi.
did it. That is my name, but you can also call me Pretty.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
She's just beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with all this conversation about Beyonce and her ticket sales, and all the religious remarks that are being made to her music, the way she presents herself, and her job. We all have a job. What if you were criticized about your job? What if somebody said something about every little thing that you do, and you don't love God because you go and you bake cakes all day long, and some of those cakes may be sexual cakes that people recommend?
What?
Cakes. Sometimes you can bake cakes. You can have a bakery,
Okay.
and somebody might want you to mold a cake into a big butt.
Okay.
Does that make you unholy?
Make you nasty.
Because you baked the cake?
I mean, the person
I'm saying
who
your
requested
job.
the cake.
Beyonce is a famous artist.
Okay.
What she does every day is sing, make music, and she does a great job at what she does.
Mm-hmm.
She pleases her audience. She sticks to her standards, and that is why her ticket sales are very high. That's my opinion. Her ticket sales are, from what I'm hearing, I've seen some of the ticket sales prices, and they are high. And I hear even for the nosebleed seats that they are $500, and from $500 to $1,000. Do I think that's ridiculous? Yes. But are those my standards? No. I don't have anything to do with what Beyonce. You either buy the tickets or you don't. But I did have some thought on that when it comes down to all the negative things that are being said about her ticket sales. They are high. We support Beyonce. We would like to see her in concert. She's rich because of her fans. She would be nothing without her fans. If her fans can't afford to see her, I feel like it's a slap in the face saying too bad. There are people who really would like to see her in concert that has been supporting her for years. That's my opinion. Do I think that that is wrong? Yes, that's my opinion. You don't agree.
You can't.
That's my opinion.
But
I'm not saying this. It's just my opinion.
And my opinion is that your price doesn't have to adjust to everybody's pockets. But think of the population of people that want to see Beyonce. Beyonce is very famous. Like, very, very, very famous.
Yeah.
So, there's 1,000,001 people that want to see this concert. Her concert gonna get sold out regardless if the tickets are $1,000 or $100. They gonna get sold out. So if you can't afford it, you just can't afford it. But it's not her job to adjust to your pockets. I
I,
could love Beyonce and be a 13-year-old with $0. I'm just not gonna see her because I don't got the money.
I think that it just is my opinion. I just think that's wrong. Now, I think it's wrong. You see it a different way. And you are pretty much implementing the topic of today, speaking on upholding your standards, because if that's what she feels like she's worth,
Mm-hmm.
then that's what it's gonna be. Either you can
Exactly.
come or you can't. And it's
Exactly.
probably always been like that in her mind, even when people had negative conversation or comments about her breaking from the group and
Yeah.
becoming a solo artist. And a lot of people were thinking, oh, she just wants all the attention on her. Isn't that the way it's supposed to be? So I had a lot of thought on that. And I think that she's upholding her standards. She felt like she was much more worth much more being by herself.
And that's the prime example of somebody proving their own worth or deciding their own worth. Like
And
you
she's
decide
proved
your
it.
own worth, and she decided her own worth, and that's what she wanted to do.
And
That's
she's
what she
proved
thinks
it.
she worth. That's what she did. You might not think she worth that, but it's not up for you to decide. It's up for her to decide. If she thinks she worth $20 billion, she gonna make herself worth $20 billion, and she did. However many billions she's worth, or thousands.
And I want to get to that. I want you to hold that thought. But what I do want to say, I was watching Pastor Wooden, and he had a lot of thought on the church girl song that she put out, and some of the verses that she implemented. And I think she put some scriptures in that song. I haven't heard that song to its entirety, but a lot of religious groups had something to say about her, the music that she puts out there, and the way she might dress on stage. And then she's speaking on church girl and how we should portray ourselves. My thing is, and it's really biased to be that judgmental when it comes down to religion and her music, because she puts things out there all over the place. She has a song, If I Were a Boy, We Like to Party, and then she has some things supporting the Black community. So when it comes down to Beyonce and her music, she's just an artist. Just like if you saw somebody painting a picture, and there was a what do you call it, a a painting artist. They're a different type of artist. And if they do a person in the nude, and just like I spoke with, if you're in a bakery and somebody say, oh, I want, my brother likes strippers, I want to have a booty cake, is that artist condemned for delivering that and doing a great job at doing that?
I feel like it depends on how it makes that person feel in their own spirit. If that cake artist or Beyonce felt a certain way by doing that within themselves, they probably shouldn't, because that's hindering your spirit. But if it's something that they're comfortable with in their own skin, and that's something that they want to do, the art they want to create, then that's them. Like, once again, there's nobody who can sit here and tell them, like, you're a public figure. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you become a public figure, you're going to hear opinions. But at that point, everything in your life is for you to decide how you feel, and you got to have a strong enough mind to do that.
And that's in the beginning when I was introducing the topic. I said, when you get home, you think that's not the way I would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
So if Beyonce were to think about all of these bias commentary that she has to deal with and try to change up, then she wouldn't be Beyonce.
Exactly.
So I really, it's hard, it's bittersweet to think about, because I've had to juggle between, is this right, is this wrong? And I had to look at also Pastor Wooden's comments and the things that he preached about on that sermon about moving from Christianity, and how a lot of people are moving from Christianity. Everybody is not a Christian either
Mm-hmm.
now. And with that being said, he is. If he didn't speak on that situation, would he be Pastor Wooden? No. He's upholding his standard as well. So we have to look at things from different, everybody has different personalities and come from different backgrounds. He's speaking his truth.
Exactly.
He's upstanding his
Because when you think
his
about it,
standards. He's upholding his standards and what he feels
yeah.
that looks right or wrong.
Because when you think about it, pastors are teachers. So what he's doing is teaching the Bible and trying to give real life examples to implement the Bible. But it's still not him up to judge her.
He's judging her, and that's where he's
Exactly.
wrong.
It's still not up to him to judge her. Only God, only God can judge me. It's still not up for him to judge her. But he can use a real life example to teach his audience. So there's nothing wrong with that. But like when you're bringing religion into something like that, like you have to ensure that you're just trying to use, like as a teacher, you're trying to teach. You're not trying to put somebody down. You're not trying to, you're taking what the scripture in the Bible says and you're implying it to real life.
Okay.
That's
so
it.
with all teaching, do you think that you'll offend some people?
Yeah.
And they're going to feel like you're putting them down and you're not trying to?
Think about it. I went to an all-white school.
Uh-huh.
And I had to sit through slavery conversations with a white teacher. So, yeah, sometimes you might feel offended by the way that they're teaching. But that's not up to you to tell them how to teach. You're not getting paid for it.
That can happen with parenting, with Beyonce, with everything. If somebody could be trying to say something to you, or they're upholding their standards for you, or whatever they would think in their mind, people could look at you like a god. They can look at you like, oh, you're so beautiful. I'm not getting ready to let you go this route if I have something to do with it. Sometimes it might hurt your feelings, and sometimes it may not come out right. But if you know that person loves you, or if you know that somebody means in that right, it is in the right.
Hold up. If they love you, they ain't gonna tell you they hate you. Let's start there. For two, for two, it's the difference that you put in right here is speaking to a whole versus speaking to an individual.
No, it's a whole.
No.
Yes, because you can love
you
a lot
like
of
parent. That's speaking to an individual. You're not teaching as a whole group. When a pastor teaching to somebody, he probably teaching people he ain't never met individually.
But you can have multiple children and talk to them the same, but different ones might take it different.
Yeah. But at the end of the day,
because I can say my girls are way different from the boys. Like I can say something and they can be like, take it really, really personal, but the boys might be like, whatever.
Are we talking about teaching or Beyonce?
We're talking about it all. Because, and then I also, this is another thing I wanted to bring up before we get way different, and we will.
So
we will, because I want to get back there, but because I'm getting ready to get off this subject. Okay. But another thing I wanted to implement is saying that, and how can I bring it back? Can you incorporate spirits from music? So if say you're a baker, say you're an artist, or you're a preacher, okay, can you really get a spirit from a sermon or from music? Can that really get embodied into
any spoken word? Can be used in that way that you're speaking, because when you think about it, like for a pastor is the best way to speak of it. When he speaks the word of God, you can get a spirit from speaking the word of God, no matter where you are. Do you agree or disagree?
I feel like it's where your mind is.
I feel like words have power.
I don't.
And you can speak things into existence.
Words have power, fam.
Words have power.
Let's speak on it.
Words have power.
Let's speak on it.
They do. Like it Tupac. Is. Come on, Tupac. Let's talk about Tupac.
Words, not all words have power. Are you
saying his words did
nothing? Okay.
Let's talk about Martin Luther King Jr. Did his words?
His words has power.
Words have power.
Words have power.
It doesn't matter if you're jingling them in a little jingle or if you're saying them like me and you.
I guess when I say everybody is different, I'm saying it's like you might look at it and say words have power when it comes down to depending on maybe who you're talking to, but me, I'm more of an action person. Mm-hmm. So I feel like actions have power, not so much as words. Because I've been lied to. I've seen people say things that aren't true. I've seen people talk up a storm about positive things, and they are strictly the devil. And I really just have learned not to dig so deep into words.
You say that.
No, seriously.
You say that.
Seriously.
Let me say this. So, you say you don't listen to words, you listen to actions, right? Mm-hmm. So say that somebody's trying to be super nice to you and they're giving you food and cupcakes and just like giving you everything, right?
I don't want a cupcake.
But I don't care what you want. Every single time they come up to you, they beat you, they punch you in the face, but they just gave you $5 million and some cupcakes.
I feel like that all the time.
and they just punch you and they threw you down the stairs. So they actions show that they want to beat the crap out of you, but they words are saying, "I love you. Here's a cupcake. Here's $5 million." Dude, what you finna
I'm
believe?
gonna look at their actions.
Oh, okay. If all I gotta do is give you $20 and punch you, and you think I love you,
If I
do
say
that.
I dislike you, or I feel like I feel the same way you feel about me, it's because of how you're treating me.
Mhm.
So that it's reciprocated that way. It's not reciprocated a way that
How am I
from what you
treating you with
said,
what? My words,
your actions,
my actions.
your
Me.
actions.
I said you could drive
No
my car.
actions. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
saying actions
babysit.
overall.
Yeah.
If you're acting a certain way, and we're getting way off subject. If you're acting a certain way,
We're right where we
if you're acting a certain way, then that's how I'm going to project it, not from what you're saying. So if you're acting and I feel like you feel this way about me or something about me,
I know
that's
this
how
might
I'm
not
going to
make sense
project
to
it.
you, but I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
Can you lie with words?
Yes.
Can you lie with actions?
No.
Why?
Come on.
Nah, this y'all. This is gold.
Because most of the time, actions is just really who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and you can say anything out of your mouth.
Okay.
And I can be nice and buy you $1 million house and say, "Here, live in that," and then you turn around and say, "Get out of my face, you stupid," or something like that, and I'm gonna feel like, "Dang, I just bought you $1 million house. Ain't you happy?
Okay.
Ain't you happy about what I just did for you?"
So think about.
Or I can say I can buy you $1 million house and say, "Can you help me out with this car payment this month? Because I pay all your $1 million pay bills or whatever.
Okay.
Can you help me this month with whatever?" And then it's like you got to go through so much, and it's every time, like, but it's like I'm sponsoring you.
Okay.
I got you your first, all of your jobs, all of your this, all of your that.
Are you
And
talking about
then,
me now?
no, I'm talking
Okay.
about anything.
I just want you to be very direct.
Start taking it personal.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to give you back an example, and going back into this because I'm going to close this up because we can really go somewhere else with this.
That's what it seemed like, and I just want to know where we at before I say my spiel.
Yeah,
but I am saying that
because
I
do want to do a show like that. I do want to go
I'm
there.
saying you can lie with your actions just as much as you can lie with your words, and let me tell you why.
Yeah, you can.
This is a good example.
Now that I said that, you can.
Men are the perfect example. I'm not saying only men cheat. I'm not saying that. People do it, humans. But cheating is the perfect example.
This is going to smooth us.
A man.
Okay, let me just say this because now that she's going into this, we're into the Beyonce conversation. But I did have some more things to say on that, but I don't want to talk about it no more.
Oh.
Let's get into upholding your standards.
Okay, a man can sit here and love you every day, make sure you take you wherever you need to go, do this and this and that for you, and still be cheating on you. And you probably wouldn't even think he's cheating because his actions show that he loves you. But he's lying through his actions. So he can treat you perfectly and be treating the other girl perfectly. And he's lying through his words and his actions. So now what you finna believe?
Who said you got to believe any words or actions?
You said you believe actions way more than words, but I'm telling you, they hold the same weight.
Okay, and then those actions is what you have to believe. That you just summed up my whole point. I said if I had to make a choice, it would have to be actions because if that's the way this person is, this is exactly who they are. Something that come out of your mouth, you can say anything out of anger. Mm-hmm. You can say something out of fear. You can say something out of anything and you don't mean it. Men can lie to you, women can lie to you. You can say anything out of your mouth and it can be a whole lie and you're not even intentionally.
They say when you can say things out of anger, that's what you really meant.
No, it's not true. That totally is not true. You can say things out of anger and out of hurt because you're hurt. So you want to hurt that person back. So it's not nothing that you mean. It's something that's how you're gonna treat me. That's what you're gonna say to me. I'm saying something back to hurt you. Mm-hmm. Not that you mean it, but I have to hit back because that's the individual that you are. That's the type of person that you are.
That's more so as a person.
But your actions, if you turn around and punch somebody, okay, you meant that. Okay. And if you go cheat on somebody and you're saying, "Oh, I love you," I'm not gonna listen to words anymore. That's one thing that I've stopped. If you're not proving that through action, I
But
don't.
they are
I'm
proving
not.
it through action because they're still treating you like a princess.
But you're not telling
How
me
you
you're
gonna know
cheating.
they're cheating?
You're not telling me you're
So are they
cheating.
lying through their words or their actions, or both?
They're lying with their words. If you're telling me,
Just want you to know that Taylor's over here outplaying you right
I'm gonna push you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you that if you're saying something to me,
Okay, I'm saying something.
and I'm saying I love you so much, and I'm going and I'm cheating on you, your actions are that you're cheating on me.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that.
But does he love you?
No,
He
you're
just-
lying.
Okay.
You're lying.
So he's still lying through his words and his actions.
He's lying through his words and his actions. He's lying through his words and his actions. But that's what I just said. I don't believe the words. If I have to believe anything, it's going to be the actions, which I believe. You are cheating. I believe that. If I know it, if I can see it. That's what I'm saying. Your words cannot align with your actions. That's why I don't believe words. And if I have to choose one, it'll have to be actions. You can tell me you love me all
The
day
real question
long
is,
and then leave
why
out
do
the
you
house
have
and be
to
like, this
choose
ring
one?
going out the door. I don't care nothing about you.
Mhm.
And those are things that have to register in a woman's mind.
Mhm.
When it comes down to standards and upholding your standards, bring that track back, because sometimes we lose ourselves. We forget about our standards when we into the world. We talk about it. You know, we're raised by our parents. Our parents teach us. We go to church. You know, all these different things that we learn in life, how to be a good citizen,
Mhm.
a strong woman, and a strong man in this world. And then we get away from that by how people treat us in their actions.
Mhm.
And they'll tell us, this is the type of man that I am. This is how I'm going to treat you. And then turn around and do something else behind your back. That's what takes me away from words.
You know what puts me back into the words? Things like you said, you grow up and you learn things by the way people teach you through words,
Through actions.
the way people treat you. And like, think about bullying and people who get bullied at school. Those are words half the time. Sometimes kids will put their hands on
That's
you.
bullying.
But there's cyberbullying, which is just as bad. The only thing that takes the meaning away from words when it comes to stuff like that is you.
That's
But
my
the thing
point.
is, when you're coming to what you need to trust, words and actions hold the same weight. And I think actually words can hold more weight sometimes.
I think that can be
because
an opinion.
words trigger a lot emotionally. I would rather somebody punch me than to sit here and put me down verbally.
And
Because
do
a punch is
you
over.
know, like
A punch is over.
do you know that I've been in like
One and
therapy
done.
sessions, and that has been always a contradictive subject when it comes down to what someone will say to you and how they actually treat you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are putting me down, but then and you're saying things to make me feel really bad, but then you go and do something for me and you're doing everything that you should be doing in my face, there's something behind that that's not right.
So what's not right? The words or what they're doing?
What they're doing.
Okay.
That's why I keep saying actions.
So
that
you're
all
saying
disappears.
somebody who physically does things for you and says bad things to you, something's not right.
Something's not right.
But why? When you already decided that you're going to pick
it can be wrong either way.
But you already decided.
You can
in your
say
head
something. You can say something
that
to
you're
me
picking actions, right?
really nice and then treat me bad. I still have to believe your actions.
Okay.
Either way it go.
Okay. So I don't see what's confusing. You already decided that you're going to pick them actions.
I'm picking them actions.
Pick the actions and run with it.
I'm picking them actions.
But I'm saying it's important to take everything into account because they have equal weight, in my opinion.
That, in your opinion. Now, when it comes down to standards, at what point do you feel like it's okay to lower your standards?
Ever. Don't. Because the second you lower your standards, you're going to regret it. The thing that gives you standards, I think standards and morals come over time. Like, as you experience things and you go through them, you build up what you decide that you're going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you decide what you're not going to tolerate, you have a reason of why you're not going to tolerate that. So when you lower your standards, you're like, okay, maybe I'll tolerate this again. And you're going to regret it because you're already, like, that's like stubbing your toe and then kicking the same thing.
So if you're in a relationship or whatever, and you, let's just say you have a spouse and they betray you.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to give you two different scenarios and you give me some feedback on that.
Okay.
And they betray you and you have a kid.
Okay.
And there's so many reasons, and it's a very complicated, tender situation when it comes down to your children and why people stay through really bad situations.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to like somebody doing things that doesn't line up with your standards, and then you see a lot of people staying.
Yeah.
You see a lot of people staying, and sometimes, and I can say personally, because kids, that person can have a really good relationship with your kids as the other parent.
But
And you don't want to lose that,
relationship.
but it can change after you, because I've seen it happen. It can change once you walk away. In that instance, you are lowering your standards. Okay, that's the first scenario. What do you have to say to that?
As a 23-year-old woman who has never been married a day in my life,
Mhm.
I'm going to have to say that me personally,
Mm.
I think that's the reason right there is why people need to date more. That way they can like really see what people really about, because it's hard to weave through that when you ain't really experienced nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, say for example, I'm 23 and I've dated one guy in my entire life. That's all I know, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I only can build my standards and my perception off of that one guy. I haven't dated anybody else. I don't know nothing else about nothing nobody got going on because I haven't experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like people need to take time, because this is a thing like everybody noticed. Like, you find one person, I'm in love, and you date, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's something about getting to know different people, going on dates, hanging out, saying hi. You know, it don't got to be nothing serious where y'all boyfriend and girlfriend. Y'all can go to the movies and hang out as my friend. It don't got to be that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but people just take stuff too serious too fast. They get emotionally attached and
True.
like, it don't got to be that. Get to know somebody, date them, learn them as a friend first. So you know that, like, of course you know y'all like each other, but like still try to kind of learn them as a friend and weave through a personality. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And keep building your standards until you're your full self.
Mm-hmm.
You got your career together. You know what you want, and you know who matches you.
Do you think that you really can do that all the time?
I do think you can.
You
I think you can.
You
I
think,
100%.
So you think you can date someone and then know them, and how long of time do you what time frame would you give that?
It's
So
not a
like,
time
let's say
frame.
you feel like you met your person, you've made your match.
It's not it's not a time frame. It depends on when that person wants to let you in and when they allow you in.
So,
you
but
never
I'm saying
know. They could do it right away. They could do it 10 years from now.
Okay, but if you date one person, you're 23, and let's say you the example that you gave, dating one person, and that's all you know, and you're getting this energy that you like, and you feel like that's your person, you know, and you feel like they've let you in. You know, it takes a really a long time to really get to know a person. You know that, right? So, with that being said, you marry them, and then there's a problem. You wasted so many years. Do you walk away even after you felt like that person? You know, because then once all of that is vested, and you have all these things that you thought was lining up with your standards, and it could take, you know, you could, like you said, however long it takes, years.
You know the term red flags? We've been talking about them on social media all day.
The red flags.
Every day, right? There are red flags.
Right.
Whether
Like
you
such
ignore
as
them or not.
Such as. What should we look for? Stuff. You know, you're young and you're really smart. You Thank know, you. and I think I did pretty good with you, but
Well, I got love her, but you be so quick with it, like, oh, give me comment, thank you.
Because the thing is, like, I know me and I know how I feel. I'm just speaking,
no, because I've been through
opinion.
some really tough times in my life, and I was always criticized about how I raised my kids, especially my girls. Okay. So at young ages, I would tell them the things I've been through, and you know I have tell you everything that I've been through, and I didn't care if you were too young. I gave it to you straight, and I think that mothers should, so that girls will be able to uphold their standards. And in me raising my girls, my biggest thing telling them was, it's just a boy. It's just the boy. So I allow my girls to have friends that are boys at a young age. Am I telling the truth? You had
You're
I don't
telling the
want
truth.
to I don't want to say any names or anything, but I allow my girls to have friends that are boys, and now most of your friends are boys.
That's why I was a tomboy until I was like
And
17.
I felt like that was my way of teaching, because in that area, because I wanted them to know what boys really were like.
Mhm.
So even if it was their cousins or friends or whatnot, I felt like that was important for you guys to know at a very young age. Not only that, but feeling beautiful. I went broke keeping that hair and all that stuff done to have that
Who hair
confidence.
done? Because my hair is
You're
done.
not my little girl anymore. You're a grown woman. But during those times when it was my
So she
responsibility,
not gonna fix my hair.
it was not my
Okay, we
responsibility.
got you.
Now,
It's not
now everybody don't think like me, and just because I did some things I feel that should have been implemented into my parenting, everything I did was not perfect either. Now, the biggest things to me was education, was knowing yourself and knowing the things around you. But that's the only thing that I could implement, was the things that I had to learn the hard way.
Mhm.
So, and I'm very transparent as a parent. I'm very transparent, probably too much. And
Probably.
I am very transparent. I don't hide much away from my children. And I feel like it's needed in order for them to see that life is real. And this is exactly what it is. In order to uphold your standards and have standards, you need to know that just because mama going through this is not what it is.
I genuinely don't think parents can teach standards though.
I do.
Like,
And I have.
I feel like a lot of teaching comes
I mean,
from
I kind of.
Can I use
experience.
this?
Of course you can.
I mean this for this one.
Which one you have? That iPhone
Yeah.
one? Is that the iPhone one?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
5. I mean,
No,
the
no, no.
12.
I'm talking about the cord that's on the table.
No.
No, that is the Android
I think I
one.
have a charger. I'll
Um,
still get Starbucks after this if you're not gonna get my hair done. I'll still get my Starbucks.
I feel like parents can implement standards, because I've seen it where there's some beautiful young women not have that teaching. And my mom had girl talk with us every Friday.
Uh-huh.
And it's not that I wasn't listening, because we can be hard headed, but those standards always going to be in the back of your mind. And as you're going to always think about what your mom taught you. I know I did. Even though it didn't always align with what she taught me, it always came back. It always came back. It always come back. Feel free to join the conversation. And you guys, we are doing the ask the chat queen at gmail.com. If you have questions and you want my blunt answer and my feedback, it may not be everything you want to hear, but email those questions in those situations and we'll talk about it and let you know if that man is cheating on you in our opinion, and let you know if you lowering your standards or if you're going in the wrong direction.
But this
we
is
will
why
talk about it.
I don't think parents can implement standards simply because I think parents put too much on themselves as a whole. I feel like parents think it's their job to mold who their kid's going to be and say that they're going to do this and they're going to do that. But what they're not understanding is everybody is an individual. Okay? Your kid's going to grow up to be whoever they want to be.
That's true.
And sometimes pushing a kid too hard can push them the complete opposite way. I feel like standards are developed by that person individually. I even know that me and you have different standards. I have different standards than you and my dad. Me, you, and my father.
You're supposed to.
Totally different people.
You're supposed to.
And some things that y'all try to implement into me, like I listen to you guys, like the basics, like don't do drugs. Okay, mom. Don't have a baby. Okay, mom. You know, that's like the stuff. But
I'm looking. I'm kind of 50-50 with both of y'all because part of what you're saying is
speaking to the microphone.
Yeah, as the child, I'm just saying, like, I don't think parents can really do that. Like, I feel like kids gotta live their life and develop that on their own. Because me and even look at all your kids, like you said, so different.
But the guidance, even though, and me being a parent, looking at all of that and what I tried to do, I still can see the guidance. I still can see that even in mistakes. Right here,
he gonna say he thinks I'm weird.
I want to bring him on so bad.
He thinks I'm crazy.
He does.
And we were raised in the same house by the same two people.
That doesn't mean your personalities will not all be
exactly.
We're talking about standards, though.
You think me and Bungie got the same standards?
No.
we were raised to have the same standards, correct?
No.
In what ways were we raised to have different standards?
Because you're going to date men. He's going to date women.
So you mean standards in relationships
and
as a
so
whole?
That's going to change all of and as a whole, because the way men treat women and what I think is going to be different.
I don't know.
It was a lot of us giving him those
So
standards.
what's that different standard taught to a woman and a man in a relationship? That's kind of my question. Because I feel like a lot of times women are taught differently and more delicately, when that's probably why men don't respect women now.
How do you uphold your standards in a relationship?
She pied, and I just want you to know that.
That's why I told you I've been trying my best. Wait till I get Trace. Wait till I get them on here.
Like
I'm not gonna be able to say.
There's like so much you said that I just want to just take and run with.
We're only at 7 minutes.
But listen, how do you uphold your standards in a relationship? Have you walked away from every situation that you didn't like?
Yes. So quick.
You're talking about Taylor, fam.
Okay, let's talk.
She be acting like she know me. She don't know me.
Let's talk.
I don't play them games, mama. I don't play them games. And if I do, don't be watching this if you talked to me before. But if I do keep a guy around, it's not in the back of my head. I straight up tell you, like, we're not together. I don't want it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie, like, oh, and you're my sweetheart. Like, I want you. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm gonna straight up tell you, like, I'm not with you. You're not my man. Like.
And what effects have you got from that? Do you have men trying to get you to lower your standards for them? Like, he don't fit the description of what you.
Every man who's not into my standard bracket and trying to talk to me is trying to get me to lower my standards. Because
exactly.
you know, hey boy, good and dang on well, you need to get on my face. But aside from that, upholding your standards, I don't feel like in a relationship you should even per se have to. I feel like if that's the person for you, they gonna just, fit in that little puzzle spot.
So like Michael B.
I don't
Jordan.
feel like I gotta sit here and be like, don't do that. You ain't. No, I'm just. You
so
cool.
Like Michael B. Jordan and say her name.
Lori Harvey. What about them?
She's got these standards, and she, in my opinion, she gave a pretty good guy, but like we don't know him like that.
Yes, I don't think she gave up a good guy. I think that he was in a place that she wasn't yet. So instead of toying around,
not a good guy.
Instead of toying around, I know I'm not
for her.
I'm not. It's not a good guy for her. Like exactly because Lori Harvey is at that phase where she's still enjoying life.
Mm-hmm.
Michael B. Jordan is at that phase where he's ready to settle down. She's not going to be happy if she tried to settle down when mentally she's not ready for that. I don't care how great of a guy or how great of a girl is. If y'all not on the same page, you're wasting each other's time.
Exactly.
What do you think would happen to the world if everybody was trying to uphold their standards?
Well, first of all, we have to accept the fact that everybody has different standards.
I have that written down right here.
That's
everybody has different standards.
Everybody has different standards. So you have to understand that you need to find the group of people that are within the same standards that you're in. Stop it.
You're not slick.
Stop it. I haven't even touched the camera, but the fact that I can see you at the corner of my eye moving for no reason. Stop it. Just stop it.
I saw you too, but I'm like, oh, she irritated.
It's just the fact that I see
that pays.
The dad in me kicked in when you did that. That's why I was like, stop it. Okay, you didn't deserve that. I'm sorry. But still.
What would you say?
But still,
he lost his thought.
I didn't lose it. It's there.
How you gonna lose a thought that's in your head?
You can.
Push her.
When you have so many going on at one time, it's easy. And then me, I'm a scatterbrain atheist, so my mind is everywhere.
It is. I can attest to that.
What happened?
But
we was talking about standards.
Somewhere and be everywhere.
Everybody has different standards.
So therefore, you need to find out that you need to be in the group where your standards are.
Okay.
If you're an individual who wants to live a lap of luxury, but you're from 10th Street, you got to figure out a way how you could get to the East Side, because that's where that's where the luxury folks
ain't
live.
Fair.
Is it?
That's bias.
How is it bias?
Because just because you off 10th Street don't mean you can't marry.
But
can I say this?
No. If you want to be in a certain group, you can't expect to be able to find that lap of luxury on 10th Street. You need to go where the lifestyle that you want to live, where you have your standards at, needs to be in the same way.
Okay, so this actually plays into our earlier conversation.
Then that's when you need to
adjust.
This
plays into our earlier conversation where you decide your own value.
Big facts.
and you're deciding your own standards.
Big facts.
So,
nice callback.
what you want to be
Mhm.
is what you're going to be if you work to be what you want to be.
If
And what you
try,
want is what you're
you'll
going to get.
be
As far as a
worthy.
man-woman relationship, that's because that's what you upheld yourself to.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So, whatever you're holding yourself up to, because you only can judge yourself. He can't devalue a woman from, where you say?
10th Street.
10th Street.
10th Street when she think she Beyonce. So you can tell her, girl, you ain't. She gonna look at you like, tuh, and then go sit with Bill Gates. You know? Because
And
that's
Bill
how she
Gates
holds.
might be like, get away from me.
No, and Bill Gates might see her as the girl from Beverly Hills.
It's
You
all
know
how
why?
carry
Because
yourself.
that's how she valued and
Because
carried
that's how she carried
herself.
herself.
Carry
Exactly.
yourself.
So
Because you think these.
so then
I'm not done.
so then go
you
ahead,
think these
girl.
Oh,
celebrities?
she,
Girl,
pot,
girl.
she potting. I told you, she potting
You
today.
think these celebrities and Instagram models be sitting here sitting somewhere with their legs crossed on Beverly Hills?
No, not at all.
They probably sitting in a studio apartment with a mattress and a toothbrush.
Air mattress at that.
And they sitting here walking around talking to whoever and whatever, spending their money on booties and clothes. And people think they all this and that because that's how they carry and portray themselves. So,
You coming back next week?
no.
Oh, I'm gonna give her her own show.
Is you buying me Starbucks? 'Cause I brought my
She can have
cup.
2 of mine a month.
Give her her own show.
I know. People love me.
But and I can see.
Because she
But
radio
those
spicy.
are their standards.
And that's what they're gonna
Those
do.
are their standards, and that's what they're going to do.
But also, maturity plays a factor in your standards too,
Mm-hmm.
because what you value may not be the same thing that you like. You two, for an example, Taylor may value something that you completely differently. Be like, why do you even care about that?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that what Taylor wants is a bad thing. It's just that's not what you care about. So you'll never look at it the same way she does.
But that's part of what makes everybody so amazing, is that we are all different. And if we was all the same in this world, it would not progress.
It won't progress.
And if you was dating somebody
I would
exactly like
love
you,
to see the world.
you would
one
probably
day.
go
I would love to
crazy.
see the world for 1 week where everybody is chocolate, like everybody's chocolate black. Everybody.
I would like to
Ooh,
see the
white people
world.
be
I
living.
would like.
There's no white people. That's why I
That's
would
what
love
I'm
to see
saying.
it.
They gonna wake up like,
I would want to see it. The first day, house full of white folks wake up chocolate. I want to see how much racism and violence flies till they figure out they are who they are. Just
They're
black.
gonna be like, I wonder how high I can jump, Tommy.
Like it's gonna be so much open racism. Like when you wake up and
Doing that Beyonce
your
challenge.
wife was laying next to her husband and both of y'all black and they see a black person in the bed for the very first time. You gotta remember they don't know they black yet.
Yeah,
They just see a black person in their bed. Oh my God.
I'm getting robbed.
Like either they're gonna think
Ooh,
I'm getting
that was
robbed,
drop dead.
or the fact that she wakes up, oh my God, my dreams came true. Like now you gotta explain to the fact that your husband that you have in a black man in
For
your
real.
bed.
For real.
Okay, I had to do that because it's Black History Month, but still.
Are we doing good this month for Black History Month? Do you think when you get on Instagram and you seeing everybody and how they acting?
I'm not gonna
Is
lie
it
to
a
you.
line?
It all depends on how your timeline is set up. But I've taken so much negativity off the majority of my timeline. My timeline is just chill. But I've
Same.
also realized by taking so much negativity off my timeline, I don't see as much blackness as I used to.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
What you trying to say?
All your characters are gone.
Because I don't know what you just tried to say. You said you took negativity off, and then you related back to black people. You said I see a lot less black, so I'm trying
I
to
took
see
the
what
niggas off my
His
timeline.
standards.
Okay.
That's his
Okay.
standards.
So when you get rid of the niggas,
Uh-huh.
you find out a lot of black people are just, we're just here today. This is just another day for us. I'm not getting all that.
You understand
not
you are
fair.
black, correct?
You also understand there's a difference between a nigga and a black person, right?
Nope.
You didn't
Not in
imply
some
that.
people's
That's
eyes.
not how you said it. You said it like black.
Not
is
in
black.
some people's eyes.
There's a difference
No, it's
between a
not.
nigga and a black
No, it's
person.
not. And once you get that, Mr.
Because
Narcissist.
once you meet a nigga, you know a nigga.
Mm-mm.
So I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say black is black, and I'm gonna leave it right there.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say because that's the problem.
Okay, you
People
know what?
want to
Let me-
categorize,
let me
but we
bring it
don't do
back.
that to white people.
Yes, we do.
No,
Yes,
we
we
do.
don't. Not
Yes, we
no.
do.
We don't.
Mm-mm.
Yes, we do.
Listen, a person is a person,
We
regardless
categorize
of your
them white
skin
folks
color.
too.
So once black people start categorizing black people, that's black people problem. In
But
my
we
opinion,
categorize white folks too.
you don't categorize due
Yes,
to
we
race.
do.
That's
Yes,
the problem.
We
You don't
categorize.
Korean
Especially
people
being
either.
black.
I definitely do them too.
Especially being
don't.
black.
I do.
That's
You know
black
what we
people
saying,
stuff that black
too.
people
Do that
had.
too.
being black, you can't put other blacks down.
I am an equal opportunist segregist.
No, you
okay?
not. No, you're
I
not.
treat-
Not fair.
Don't nobody know you
I,
as that.
I treat
I know
racism
you
for
as a black
everybody as
man.
all.
Can I say the
I'm sorry.
N word?
You can this podcast. You can say whatever you
Because
need.
that's
to.
what I see. I see you, and I see a black man. I don't.
You see me because I'm a mature
I see a
individual.
nigga.
No,
But
I do
see
too. That's what I
niggas.
wanted to say. But you, my mama, so I'm gonna respect you and not tell you him what I see. But he know what I see,
I see niggas.
I see a
And
nigga.
believe me,
and
I
I'm
see
straight up
niggas.
am one. I'm not gonna get mad if somebody be like, "That's I sure am a black
Yeah.
beautiful one too." What else you gotta say?
Mhm.
Because we can have a conversation.
Because niggas is the reason why we lose Walmarts. Niggas is the reason
No,
why we
people
can't stay
are.
out
People
after
are.
9
Because
Okay.
then
o'clock.
once you understand
So
that
if a white
everybody
person
doing
did the
that,
same thing, what you gonna call them?
They are a white nigga.
So why they gotta be a white one instead of just one?
Because niggas is niggas.
What makes them one? What's the difference? Tell me.
Ignorancy, if you want me to sum it up
But
in a
no.
nutshell.
You called that one a white
so
one,
you saying ignorant?
and you
niggas?
calling us just
Ignorant.
ones. I'm gonna say it. You calling us niggas,
Oh,
but they
you
white
know
niggas.
what? I
Why
love-
they white
You
niggas?
wanna,
We
you
just
wanna know
ain't
why I love you,
God.
Taylor? You know what I love you, Taylor? You've been trying so hard to be so respectful. The minute
And that's hard for her.
that's what I'm saying. They're like, "Oh, you be." I'm
Girl, so
proud of you.
disrespectful.
I'm trying to breathe. I'm saying though, why are we just niggas and they white niggas? Why can't we all just be niggas?
But why is it when we go to work and that's time, but then that's black time?
Can we?
Who called Tom and black? Black
we
people
ain't
do
gonna
that.
get-
White
we
people,
never gonna get.
You know what
Taylor
white
to
people
tell
do?
us
they call him Tom
how she
Moriarty
upholds
and
her
Tom
standards
Dimity. They
in
call
a
him by their
relationship
last
so that we
names.
can
Still saying it.
project
No, they
that to
don't.
her age
I'm
group.
telling you, I went to a white school.
No.
I
They
was
may not say
Taylor
it to you,
Perkins,
but
and there were like 4 other Taylors, and we called them by their last names. They
Sure
didn't say
did.
Black Taylor. Black
that's
people
because
do that.
that's because black folks, when you
I bet
hear
you they
being
knew
known
you
as
was
Black
black 'cause your
Taylor,
last name
that you
was
gonna whoop
Perkins.
their ass.
It's actually there's white Taylor Perkins. That's a thing. I looked it up. They play volleyball. It's really cool. Anyways,
Are they good? Are they at least good?
their name is Taylor. They have to be. You know, but
That don't mean nothing.
Silent on me, please.
I don't got none. But you can take a nap on a couch.
I love Taylor. I'm keeping her. You can take off next week.
Bye.
Me and Taylor.
But I'm
Bye.
straight up telling you that
She's for sale.
on behalf of Black History
wrong.
Month, you're gonna be paying a whole lot of
I'm
money for
kidding.
this. But in behalf of Black
Taylor is not for
History
sale,
Month,
people.
No, she's not.
Because if y'all can come up with $10,000 for Beyonce tickets, you probably will come up with whatever the price for Taylor is. But no, Taylor's not for sale.
hey,
$2.
give me 10 billion and we can I'll be a housemaid.
Taylor, the
No,
question at
for real,
hand,
though.
You are
and
not
people
for sale.
still want to know.
You are a black woman.
People
It's a whole
still wanna
conversation.
know.
You cannot be for sale in
People-
I am not a
February.
slave.
Jesus, give
In
me
February, you cannot be for sale.
Taylor,
What up?
can we ask again?
Just
How
ready
do
to-
you uphold your standards? Not what your standards are.
Mhm.
How do you uphold your standards in a relationship?
You shouldn't have to, and if you feel like you got to, that's when you leave.
How do you uphold your standards?
Self-love.
What do you do to keep that going? To let a person know, because you do have to be
Okay.
a specific person to let people
Saying
know what
that
your
you
standards
genuinely
are.
love this person and you want to deal with them for the rest of your life, and you're married and you guys are happy in a little pod cocoon, or unhappy because he's not acting right, I
Why is
say
it always him not
you
acting
or
It's
you not
always the
acting
man
right.
doing.
right? No, it's not.
Is it
I-
always
I
the
don't
man not
know.
acting right?
It's not.
Let me say this: every time I call my friends mad and say he just made me mad, they ask me what I did first.
I
So
do too.
'Cause it's not
I always be like,
always
"What
him.
you do to that boy?"
I'm
It's
gonna
not
tell
always
you
him.
right now, it's not always the man.
Thank you.
We got
Accountability.
faults.
Thank
It's
you.
not. If I
Clap
call my
her
man right
up.
now,
A
he gonna laugh
she
in
is
my
a
face.
young woman who knows that, you know what, women need to take accountability as well. And because she already has that mindset,
I
means
be
that
giving
you
my
are
man a
going
heart
to be.
attack. He be. If I call him right now, like it's always you, he gonna laugh. He's gonna think
I'm
it's a
gonna
joke.
laugh with him.
Yeah, it's not. But that's not the point. What was I talking
You a
about?
whole
See,
job.
you see what I talked about earlier? How you can lose your thought. And you said how you do that. Boom.
No,
That
but
makes
this
How
is
do
what
you
I was
uphold
saying.
your standards? Do you?
I was there.
Do you
I'm
only
re-
go
I'm
to
regrouping.
specific restaurants? Do you only have a specific conversation? Do you let certain things get in that?
I was going there. Let me
okay,
finish.
I'm asking.
So when you're upholding, I love this cup too. She
Oh
finna
my
put some
God.
Starbucks in it. Y'all heard me
You
say
know it's supposed to
Starbucks
be
10
over 30 minutes
times.
ago.
If she don't give me Starbucks, y'all gonna never see me again. And I want you to know that. This is gonna be the start of the show. We can pretend like my
Answer
cup
the
is
question
talking.
before you lose your thought
Anyways,
in your big head
I'm not gonna
again.
lose my thought. My brain works very well.
Okay.
Anyways, so when you're upholding your standards, the point is not to let anything slide. When I say let nothing slide, it's kind of like teaching a kid not to walk in the street, you know? Like every single time, no matter how mad they get,
Is that not
You
being
say something.
controlling then?
No,
Okay,
it's upholding
that's
your
why
standards.
I asked the question. When
It's upholding
is
your
it
standards.
controlling and when do you lower your standards?
It's
'Cause
not
your standards is
controlling.
not always right.
It's what you want to live. It's your life. It's how you want to live your life.
But you're gonna mess your life up real bad having
Let me ask
some
you. No, I
some
got you. Let
standard.
me ask you a
Well,
question.
if you think that about your standards, then maybe you should reevaluate yourself.
Let me ask you a
No, because
question,
your
Taylor.
standards is you. That's
You
what you
asking me
feel,
questions.
but that don't
There's
mean
questions.
it's right.
There's questions.
Are you willing to compromise for your mate?
Yes.
Lowering your standards.
No. He didn't say lower your standards. He said
Same
compromise.
difference.
Well, you know what a compromise is? Win-win, lose-lose. That means meeting in the middle. Like, say I want Starbucks, right? And I don't want to come talk on the podcast.
You ain't getting no
You
Starbucks.
say win-win, lose-lose. I get Starbucks, you get podcast. I'm angry. You got to buy me Starbucks. That's a win-win, lose-lose. That's a compromise. You get it?
Not in a relationship.
compromise-
You can't. That's really basic. Like we're talking about
A compromise is like negotiating.
Kind of is. But
lowering your standards.
No, you're not lowering your standards. You're
Now,
negotiating.
I think you're not. You're two are saying two different things about the same
But
thing.
the same thing.
Because lowering your standards basically means giving up or taking away from what makes you are.
Mhm.
For an example, if you like to go to seafood restaurants, but because you're dating somebody who can't eat seafood, you're giving up seafood altogether just because he can't eat seafood.
Exactly.
So when
Whereas
win, lose, will
whereas
be you
in the
get seafood, you get McDonald's.
Where a compromise could be, let's go to a restaurant that serves seafood and other alternatives.
Exactly.
So
But
therefore, you can still eat it.
I know my child, and that's
What
and
you
that's
know
why
about
I'm
your
asking
child?
you.
'Cause tell me.
That's why I'm asking you.
Mhm.
Okay, because that would be like you always winning. If you go to Elsa's and you want wings and he really don't like them wings and there's not really much on the menu that he really like, but you want Elsa's.
But that's what I was getting ready to
There's
ask
been
you.
several situations where I wanted food and he didn't want that food, and you know what we did?
We had that food.
I got what I wanted, he got what he wanted.
Have you ever willing to give up the Elsa wings to go somewhere else because that's something that he wanted?
That's not necessary. That is not necessary.
See?
I'm gonna eat.
I'm saying.
But listen, but say that he wanted crawdaddies and I want Elsa's, okay? What I'm gonna do is eat my Elsa's on the way to crawdaddies and then get dessert at crawdaddies, if that's necessary, you know. But if it's like we really just like, nah, we gonna order DoorDash. Like it's 2023.
Other 23-year-olds don't listen to her.
Please listen to me. Y'all are welcome. Y'all welcome.
I would say you a
Thank me
wild.
later. You can
wild-
thank me in the comments.
I would say you a wild child, but you got from what
She
I've
said
known.
thank her in the comments.
You have great grades. You are a stable individual. You have a man that tolerates you.
Tolerates.
Because I don't know if he loves you.
That hurt. He do. He happy.
Tolerates you.
You gonna beat.
And you're 20, and you're 23 with no kids. So I would not say don't listen to Taylor. I would just say just use the footnotes instead of the whole conversation.
First of all, if y'all want some wings, go get your wings. Can't nobody tell you that you're not eating your wings. And if they want to say, like, just if you're hungry, you're hungry. See, my mom called me fat earlier, and this is probably why. Look up, own up to it. She called me fat. So I'm gonna eat what I want to eat, and I will always eat what I want to eat.
She's like this in the house too.
I told you, I'm the same person. No
It
matter
was
where I go.
horrible. It was so
She's like this
horrible.
growing up.
I'm telling you, I've been the same person. That's why I'm like, wait till people, they know. I'm not gonna change.
It's cool. I'm just laughing.
That's why I don't talk at work. Cause I be looking at them like, yeah, let me shut up. Yeah, but I know
Okay.
when to shut up.
But that's,
Okay, so we're
but that's
talking
lower-
about
But that's lowering your
we're
standards
talking
at work.
about standards exactly.
That's me minding
Exactly.
my business.
So
at
Lowering
work.
your
we do
standards.
get to a
Minding
point
my
where
business.
You're not being the authentic you.
I'm minding
Exactly.
my business.
we do get to a point where we have to lower our standards, and you have you?
Of course I have.
I've lowered my standards. Have you lowered your standards before, Taylor?
I'm not that mature yet.
Respect.
That
Respect.
is respect.
Respect. I can respect that.
Easy.
I can respect that because you know that you can't. I respect you.
Because she can't do it. She not
See,
to
I
the point in
respect
life
her
where
for
she
that.
I
up-
can,
she
but
do
I'm
that.
not there yet.
I respect her for that. She's not wrong. She only 23. Now I give her to 28. Now,
Lord help her.
by 28, if you
30.
ain't learned how to make them adjustments, you're gonna have a problem in life.
Give me 30.
Nah, because by 30, you're gonna think you old.
By 30, I'm gonna be
Ooh,
different.
did my
I'm gonna be
phone
a
just
change
die?
It
woman.
probably did.
That means we finna close out. It was nice meeting y'all. I'm finna go get my
Still on here.
Yeah,
Starbucks.
this is why we do it on both.
No, but I'm like, we gonna get my Starbucks.
We need. I need.
It
a
has been
charger.
55
I don't have one.
minutes
I don't.
and
The
37
cord. I don't know what happened to the
seconds.
cord. I normally have a cord in here. Someone stole the cord.
So we're gonna find his cord, and I'm gonna get
So
my Starbucks.
upholding your standards.
She's still going. I don't know why.
Guess what she does?
She's still doing it. Can we unplug
Upholding
it?
your standards is very important.
Should I count us
And
out?
the reason
I do
why-
have blueberry.
The reason why it's so important.
Just eat
Ooh, on ganging it.
Forget it. Thank you for watching.
You just mad because we over here bonding over blueberry.
Thank you for joining us on today.
Y'all hear me
This
chewing
has
them?
been a complete disaster.
No, it is not. This has been a
Lord.
phenomenal show. Oh my god!
Help.
Shh, like you might chew my.
Her.
Can y'all hear me chew my Starbucks?
Why is the blueberry crunchy?
I got big
That's
teeth.
right, too, right. Thank you for joining us on today again. We are implementing the Ask the Chat Queen at gmail.com. If you have questions or want to ask a question to get it answered on the show, I can do that. So why don't you just go ahead
And don't
and
forget
email
to thank
me
me
those
in the
questions and
comments.
those topics. If you think your man is cheating on you, if you feel like it's something going on at work that should not be happening, if you need some advice, if you need some direction, ask the chat queen at gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spotify, and so on, because we're going to get there if we're not there yet. We're closing out.
And don't forget to thank me in the comments. Don't forget that. You're welcome.
We all say bye, please, so I can get this girl out of here.
Love,
gotta
peace, and
get
hair
her out.
grease.
We got to get rid of her.